All right, guys. I hope you're ready. I say it every time. I've got to get a new way to come into these, but dude, I'm excited about this one. I was excited about the last one. I'm excited about 12 Pods of Christmas. We've got Jason and Earl, the YouTube channel, on here. Mr. Earl Cooper with us right now, and then Jason's coming in a little bit. Met these guys on Race Week. I'm sure you guys have seen some of the footage. I hope you've watched a bunch of their videos to know what's coming. So let's get into it, dude. Why don't you tell them where they can find you, and then I'll get into thanking everybody for the podcast room and all that kind of stuff we got to do.
All right. So I am Earl Cooper from Jason and Earl. You can find us on YouTube at Jason and Earl. I'm on Instagram and Facebook as Earl Cooper or 06_Batmobile_SS. Jason, who had to finish up at the shop, so he's on his way. You can find him on Instagram at Forest_Forerunner. Formerly Fine Wine Twins, but if you follow our channel, you know those are gone.
They're gone now. They're gone. He has a Forerunner that you guys rhino lined or a bed liner. Is that right?
Yeah, it's which we used Raptor liner.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah, there's only like 30 of them out there with various names. He got a 98 third gen Forerunner, and if you saw pictures of it before up on our Instagram, like the paint was it was awful, like clear coat peel in, it just looked like garbage, but the thing runs like a champ. It's strong. And so we sanded that whole thing down. I brought the kids out to the shop and all that. It was pretty fun, but yeah, we sanded it all down and sprayed it in the shop with Raptor liner, and
nice.
It turned out pretty well, a lot better than we were anticipating.
Dude, it looks great.
Yeah, I can't wait for the rest of the bits and pieces to go on it. Like once we did it, it was just like, oh man, like, I wish all the parts were here.
right. Because we'll talk about that in a little bit. Let's get into it because there's so much more stuff to talk about than that one rig, and we're gonna dive off into a bunch of that. I hope folks are ready for, probably hour and a half of what I would think this is going to go. You guys can talk. Everybody knows I can talk. And I'll ask the random questions that come up in the comments too. So, all right.
Awesome.
Guys, obviously, first off, we got to thank the guys that make this possible. Andy's Computer Repair. Without him, I would not be able to do this in the shop. Would not have had a need to build a podcast room. And Hawassi Tire and Lube. Since we crossed 3,000 subs, I'm going back out there on Friday to pick up some tires. Yeah, dude, I'm excited. We're going to revisit the 300-foot burnout in Stanley and see if he can get it this time. I will tell you the difference this time is I'm going to soak the tires in trans fluid leading up to it. So for a couple of days, just going to pour trans fluid over it every day. And then bleach as well. And then we're going to do a big puddle. And I'm going to let that son of a bitch eat. So we are gonna go crazy. I'm excited. The old truck needs some updates and needs a Trailblazer SS intake and bigger injectors and bigger fuel pump, things like that. So it's time to do something big before we take it back apart to do all that stuff. So anyways, and then obviously the podcast room, this wouldn't be possible if we had not had wonderful donors that helped us do this. Ryan Wing, who was on last night with Streetcar Chronicles, Donovan Green, who is Danny Diesel's brother, which if you guys aren't following Danny Diesel on YouTube, he has a ton of the Kentucky tornado damage on his videos the last couple of days. It's pretty hairy up that way. And then, I'm going to have to look at my list. There's so many people. Tyler Petram, who's been on the podcast before. Tom Stark, who's coming back on. They actually took the 55 wagon to the Freedom Factory. They're there right now getting it ready for the Christmas tree race. Super cool setup. So they're coming on. We got Matt Monroe, who is on tomorrow night with Big Blocks Garage. A lot of updates coming from that dude. See Ryan Wing. Oh, and Big Bad Daddy, the Cowboy Yankee, John Murat. So thanks to those guys. I really appreciate it. Without them, we wouldn't be sounding like I'm in the shitter. So it's coming. It's going to get better, I promise. Hang tight. All right, dude. Enough about me. Let's talk about you. I always like to know, like, did you start as a car guy? Were you always a car guy? Some folks that we've had on have been car guys forever. Some guys have just started since they were adults.
No, not at all, actually. No one in my family was ever into cars. I actually didn't get into it really get into it until I met Jason, to be honest. About like 2018, I acquired the Trailblazer Super Sport. My granddad, who had a 41 F100 resto mod that he did, super sweet. We got a video of it on the channel. And he had that, a Mustang, and then he had 2 of these Trailblazers. And then towards around the time when he passed away, a lot of that stuff got sold off, and we were trying to keep some of the cars in the family. So my dad's got the F100 with him out in Dallas, and I have one of the Trailblazers. So initially it was just like, oh, it's a cool SUV to have, right? Yeah. Like, why not? Big old LS2, sure, that's cool. Yeah. And then it took like no time to find out there is a humongous community around the Trailblazer Super Sports. Like, I'm in TBSS Society, for example. Yeah. And there's just hundreds and hundreds of these guys out there. But once I started to kind of learn about that, I was like, oh, I can do some of these mods like suspension, and I knew nothing about cars. So it was like, go to YouTube, learn how to install it. Because I was like, I'm not paying a dealership or anything. I can do it. I'll do it myself, you know?
Yeah. Oh, dude. That's the hard part about those rigs, too, because they're like, oh, man, Trailblazer SS, that dude's got money. He's willing to pay money for repairs. And you're like, I don't have any money. I ended up with this in a situation, and I now want to do some stuff. So, yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah, but the funny part, like when it really took off, like I was saying, was when I met Jason. And I was at one of the local shops here that we both happened to have used, called Legendary Motorsports. And they do a lot of our, like if we go get tuning around here, that's usually the spot we hit up. And so I knew those guys. Jason knew those guys. We both happened to have been there the same day at the same time with our Trailblazers.
Oh, man.
And I saw his, and I was like, dude, I'm pretty sure I follow you on Instagram. And then it turned out we were friends on Instagram, had never met. And then we were talking about, he's like, oh, what are you going to do? You know, well, what do you have in mind? And I'm like, I don't know too much. I was thinking like headers or something, and then going from there. And he goes, hold on just a second. Goes out like to his car, comes back with like headers, and is like, you can have these. And
you're like, what?
I'm like, you're just gonna let me? He's like, you can just pay me whenever. And I'm like, well, dude, I don't know you. Like, what's going on here?
Where did you steal these from?
Yeah. So, and then that was the start of a beautiful friendship.
That's cool, man. And now you guys have a YouTube channel together. Now you hang out all the time. That's cool. So, what was the progression of mods on your Trailblazer then?
On mine, it started pretty slow. The first few things I did were like fix the crap that's wrong with it from the factory.
Yep.
So, like the pickup tube relocation, some of the various little motor quirks and things like that, redoing the suspension. And then once I met Jason, we did, we got the Speed Engineering headers on it, cat delete. It's got a fully built 4L80 on it now from Tim Frost out at Pro One Transmissions in Texarkana.
Nice.
He killed it on that thing.
Yeah.
Then we have cam, custom grind cam in there, a bunch of BTR bits and pieces.
Yeah.
And then, as you know from Race Week, it's on that little bit of that nitrous.
Yeah. What did you guys end up spraying that week? Was it a 150 shot? Is that what you ended up with? Or 125?
Well, the recent
hang on. I say that it fluctuated quite a bit there because you were trying to hit you were in the index class. So yeah.
During Race Week, we were mainly doing like a 35 to try to stay in that 13 index. But, it was like, so we kept going between like, okay, we need 35 here. Oh, we have a lot more gas. We need 50 or, something like that. Most of the time we were just trying to slow down. But we recently ran an 11 for the first time.
Nice.
And that was on a 125.
Yes, there you go.
So
I
it
knew
was
125 was in there somewhere.
Yeah, that was the one.
That's awesome, man. That's those rigs move out really well. Like what's that motor make factory? 400, 425 or something like that? And then so you're probably
It's like 395 at the crank or something like that.
yeah, that works all day. Now it's probably closer to 475, something like that. So
Yeah,
125
like
gets
that.
down the road, dude. That's cool. Were those rigs offered 2-wheel drive and all-wheel drive, or were they just all-wheel drive?
They were both. Mine's rear-wheel drive. The one that Jason had was an '07, and it was all-wheel drive.
Nice. Yeah, I'm a bigger fan of 2-wheel drive stuff. I like burnouts, and all-wheel drive burnouts are really, really cool, but they just, man, it's so hard to get them to do it for as long as I like to.
Yeah, right.
You almost need to be going in a circle or something.
Yeah, you got to pull one of them Ken Block maneuvers.
Right. Yeah, that's always good when you're leaving a stoplight to do that. So, well, sweet. So, any other project cars you have in your stable?
Sort of. Just one. It was the one I promised my wife was just going to be left stock, and it was going to be my daily driver.
You liar.
Yeah, I picked up a '97 Sierra C1500 because the Trailblazer was just getting too rowdy for daily driving.
Yeah, it makes too many noises, and I want to make sure that I'm not going to hurt it.
Or use up all my tires.
Yeah, it's exactly right.
But I picked up one of those, but it's not going fast. It's going low.
Oh yes.
We did a 3/4 drop kit on it, and I've done some stuff like that to it. Put like roll pan on it, just making it cool.
Yeah.
And we're actually going out Thursday to Sapulpa to Outlaw Metalworks. I think I'm getting their name right.
Cool.
I've never been there before, but the word is they're the place to go, and they're going to do the C-notch flip kit and all that business on it.
So you're going to go like 6 on the back then? Isn't that what it's needed for a notch?
Yeah.
Nice.
At least 6.
Dude, I dig it. That's awesome. Flip kits. So I'll tell a funny story about flip kits. In high school, I had a 81 step-side Chevrolet truck, and in my measuring, I'm like, oh man, I can take and move the axle underneath or over the springs, and it'll drop it like 4 inches, right? Nope, that drops it like 7, and puts you right on the frame. So I rode around for months on the frame. So,
oh Lord.
Yeah, we ended up putting some lift shackles in the back or something to get it off of the frame to where I could drive it.
Oh wow,
that was a fun truck. I probably need to build another one of those at some point, just because it was cool. It was step side. I mean, it was a fun truck. It had 295s all the way around it. It was a cool truck. It was huge and just dumpy.
They're the best, man.
Dude, I'm telling you. So let's talk some race week stuff because obviously that's where we met. I try and reach out before race week starts to kind of get to know some of the folks that are leading up to folks like me, a lot of smaller channels, trying to see if we can do some collaborations and stuff like that. And obviously we met through that way, and then some of the forums aren't a thing anymore. They're not. Sadly, I would like for forums to come back a little bit. I think it'd be great. But some of the Facebook groups and things like that. So, but we actually, day one, I don't think people understand, because all the videos are of racing and cool stuff from day one. But dude, how, it was like the longest day in history to just sit there and wait for racing. It was forever. So
I remember when you came up to us and we had never met before that moment, and I'm like Jason's already talking to you. He already knows who you are. doesn't say anything to me, and I walk up and I'm like, I know this guy. Who the hell is this? And I'm like, hey man, what's up? I know you, right? And then you're like, yeah, it's me, Mike. And I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah, there you go. Dude, what's funny is, there's 400 people walking around the parking lot that day looking at cars. So I get it. It's fine.
Yeah, but yeah, that was an extremely long wait to just finally get out on the track and make like 2 passes.
Yeah, it was brutal. And then we mounted the tires on, and the 15-inch rims wouldn't clear the calipers, and so we're like going to make a pass, and I literally put the car down and I pull forward about 8 inches, and it was like I was like, that's not good. So
well,
yeah.
You saw we caught fire that day, right?
Oh yeah, dude. Man, everybody struggled day 1, and then we struggled again, obviously, day 4. I think you guys had some struggles as it went later on then too.
Yeah, it was Tulsa, our home turf. Was like the biggest pain in the butt day for us. We made the mistake of hot lapping it.
Yeah.
Because they were like, okay, this is last round, and we had just made a pass, and we're like, we're not going to get another chance. We better get back up there. And I was frustrated, so I got aggressive and did like the smokiest burnout I've ever done in my life before that run. It was great. Oh, I go back and watch the video all the time. And then, we took off down the track, and it did not shift out of first gear. And we thought, we lost a sensor or something like that, but it was just too hot. We let it chill, and then it was fine, but definitely a moment of panic.
Oh yeah. Well, the good thing is you were home, like you were close to the house. So that makes it a little easier. You're like, okay, if something is wrong, it's fine. So, but Jason was calm the whole time. Like, I never saw him get all wound up or anything like that. I would have been full panic mode. But at the same time, that's your rig and not his. And I see him a lot like I see Jonathan Stonecipher, as in, oh, it's fine, it's yours. Yeah, here, let me drive it. So he's gonna wring all of the performance out of something that he can.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, he's got that calm panic. And I wouldn't panic's not the right word. If there was definitely times where he was pissed.
Yeah.
Rather than panicked. Like pissed that we were in a situation that we would have had to panic, maybe. I don't know.
Right.
But no, he was Iceman for that whole thing, and just knocked every problem that came up. He was just knocking them down.
That's great. So how many passes did you guys end up making during the week?
Oh,
it was a bunch.
You
made 2 or 3 passes at each track, right?
Yeah, I think it was 18 total.
Dude, that's awesome.
Because of Tulsa, like most of them, it was 2 or 3, and then Tulsa was 7.
I don't know why the trans was so hot.
I don't know. It was nice, and it was only like 80 degrees.
Right? Yeah, and had just driven 280 miles of interstate at I'm sure that truck gets a little better RPM than the cart did, but probably not much better.
Yeah, probably not much better now.
Yeah, we were in third gear most of the I think after we crossed the Oklahoma line, we were stuck in third gear on for the drive to Tulsa. So it was fine. I was like, oh, this is great. This is easy, man. It's not a big deal. And then
Well, what about the second? Didn't you guys? Yeah, you guys had 2, right?
2 gears, yeah.
No, weren't there 2? No, weren't there 2 cars that you guys were using?
Oh yeah, got it, dude. We made it 150 miles in the first car, and then it had to go back. And then we had the the Volkswagen Golf cart.
That's right.
Cart, right? Yep. And dude, that thing did great until day 4, and we left Mid America Dragway and almost lost a wheel to a wheel bearing, and you can't get VR6 GTI, whatever stupid name of the Golf it is, in Ponca City, Oklahoma. You can't get that part. So it took till like 5 o'clock to get the part and get it fixed. And another a road weaker, actually ran it up to my brother to fix it so we could go home. So yeah, the cart laid down. We drove back to Ponca City, loaded up in the golf cart, and all 4 of us rode back to Northwest Arkansas in that thing. I spent like $60 on a Carhartt hoodie so I wouldn't freeze to death because we already had all the stuff packed away. I mean, dude, it was rough, man. Day 4 is the 2 events I've been in. Day 4 is what kills people because you've been beating on it. Usually you'll do like a long weekend race. Cars can make it through that. But man, by that point we were 700 miles in, I think, and had been pretty mean to the car. Oh, sorry, camera's getting all wonky here. We've been pretty mean to the car, burnouts and hard launches. And when we were going through Stillwater, I think I ran 11 stop signs and lights in Stillwater, trying not to let it shift back down into first gear.
Oh man.
Yeah, it was pretty brutal. We had a good time. I need to fix it. I haven't even touched it since I brought it home that day. I know.
Still mad at it?
A little bit. I'm a horrible owner. I'm a horrible caretaker of the car. So
hey, you got plenty of time until race week next year.
Yeah. So listen to this plan, and I've said it a couple times. So I don't know if new folks are in here. So I'm debating on gathering enough stuff for an LS swap for it, and then we LS it on race week. Go in first day, make a pass with the 4.6. Like I'll get a trans for it, put a trans in, make a real pass day one, and then just park in the parking lot and LS swap it in the parking lot, and then meet wherever you guys are next. So I think with the amount of dude, why not?
Just for the fun of throwing something different in there.
Yeah, well, that'd so
pretty cool.
The 2-valve 4.6 stuff. I mean, we don't have extra parts for that kind of engine and trans and things like that. So I've got a ton of LS parts. LS. I just buy like a 4.8 or 5.3 truck motor and do a 4L80 and have somebody do some bits and pieces to it and a good converter and then make like 500 wheel, and the cart is a completely different animal.
You'll have to change your class for day 2.
Yeah, well, it probably wouldn't be day 2. We'd probably end up, I would think day 3 we could do it. The problem with that plan is you almost have to essentially swap it, do the swap, get your drive shaft and everything done, make sure everything fits, and then pull it back out and put the 4.6 back in. So you're doing a ton of work, but man, I think it would just be legendary.
It would be. I would greatly enjoy watching you do that.
Yeah, right.
Maybe not me doing it, but I'll watch you do it for sure.
Man, I just think it'd be so much fun, And that car with no front end it probably wouldn't be a hard swap. You're pulling the radiator out and you're just right in there.
I didn't think about the fact that there's no front end on that. That makes it a hell of a lot easier, actually.
And sure, they've got to have swap. They've got to have swap mounts for the engine setup. So, could you? I don't know. So Cameron Powers has done a lot of LS Panther platforms, and so I think I just call him and go, hey, I'm going to do an 80. I'm going to do a turbo setup on the front, forward facing truck manifolds, and just go to town. So I don't know. We'll see. The more I talk about it, the more I like it. I probably need to stop talking about it.
You're getting me hyped for it now, so don't disappoint me here.
Yeah. Oh God. The question would be, could I just leave the 4.6 and trans in the parking lot at the racetrack? Just be like, burn it. Bye.
I mean, someone will pick it up, I'm sure.
Yeah. We'd be going back there, I guess. I could always throw it back on the trailer. But it would be pretty fun
day one.
Yeah, it'd be pretty fun to throw it back on the drag it around on the trailer for 2 or 3 days. So I don't know. We'll see. I want to do some dumb stuff this year, and I think that's pretty dumb.
I like it.
Yeah. So sorry. Let's go back to you. Let's talk about your stuff. This isn't about me. It's about you. So was that your first drag and drive event?
Yeah, that was actually so Jason has years of experience. This was my first round doing anything competitive with cars at all.
Oh wow.
But yeah, I've never done a bracket, never done anything, never raced for money.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was the very first event. Yeah.
That's so, dude. You'll never be right. You'll never be right. You'll be like, wait, we're going for 1 day of racing? Nah, I'm out. I don't want to do that. I want to go for a week of it. I want to do it every day. I want to be abused and punished.
Yeah, it's they have I've thought about maybe I'll go do this or do that or do the other thing, and I'm like, nah, we're getting parts. It's just one day. Like, how exciting is that going to be anyway?
Yeah.
And so, yeah, maybe I'm jaded from it or something, but yeah, it's going to at least make anything else that's not a week long seem like a breeze.
Yeah. And then, so you piloted the making passes. You definitely drove all of those. What was your average like for the week? I mean, did you see some wild swings? Like, were you too fast a bunch of times and had to slow it down? Were you, way too slow? I know one time you guys were adding tires or something, right? Like, you added a tire to the back. I mean, okay, I'm going to stop talking. You tell the story. I'm just going to shut up. You walk us through the week. Tell us some of the goofy stuff you did.
So, yeah, I think Jason's outside my house beeping right now. Yeah, we were pretty much within like 13.2 down to like 12.8. It was constantly swinging in that range, and on average,
you want to go get him?
No, my wife's gonna get him.
It's okay. He's like at the door. Come on, fucker.
Well, he was beeping because my phone's over there and it was buzzing, so I'm sure he was texting.
Oh yeah, I'm here.
But yeah, it was it would swing quite a bit, and there he is.
I have arrived.
Here, put this in your ear so you can help me talk about what our left ear, what our averages were like, and why we were throwing so many tires in the car.
Because we were trying to get the weight up because we're going too fast.
He's too fast.
Yeah.
What's up, dude?
Where was it?
What's going on?
It was where did we do the 3? Was that in?
That was in no. Next, what was the third one?
That was Tulsa.
Or fourth one in Kansas.
Yeah, Mid America.
Oh, Mid America. Yeah.
We were throwing everything in there.
Yeah,
we had our tires. The guy next door, like those parked beside us, we were using his tires.
Yeah.
Like, we tried to do it where before we even left, we were making passes here and trying to make sure we would always have the same amount of gas at each stop. So we knew, like, we need to have around this amount, and then this is what we'll run, and try to do it that way. But then you get on these events, and it's just, you can't, worrying about keeping your gas level the same is like not on the radar.
And especially with the way gas stations were out in some of these areas, it was just like, dude, we have enough to get there. Let's just get there and figure it out.
Yeah. Yeah, you're trying to like 25 or 30 miles out, do the math. That was our thing. We were like, okay, because we wanted it to be, as low as possible, but still safe, because we've got 2 pumps in the cart. I was like, man, anything less than a quarter tank and it just like drains, like it's gone. So yeah, same thing. We didn't care about weight though. We're slow as hell. So for now.
Shoot, when we ran the 11-second pass, we drove to the drag strip with the gas light on.
Yeah.
And then he's like, I'm going to run out of gas when I make the pass. It's like, you'll be okay.
It'll be fine. Just keep, dude.
Make the pass.
Yeah, stay in it. It's got to do is a quarter mile. That's all we need.
And then the closest gas station's like 3/4 of a mile up the road, and we'll be good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. So I have talked a ton leading up to this, but Jason, why don't you kind of give like a little recap on like what have we talked about, or like project list?
I've been watching the whole thing.
Okay, all right.
Oh, okay.
That one I knew what was going on.
Yeah. So run folks through like your project list, and then let's just dive back into race week.
Project list.
Yeah. So like what cars you've got laid back? I know he said you sold a couple.
I had the Trailblazer SS and I had a CTS-V, and I sold both of those and got a 4Runner. For one,
that's probably the same money, Yeah, I know.
I don't have to run premium, so that's like
there you go.
I had to not do that for like 6 years, so it was weird when I went to the gas station and hit that 87 button instead of the 91.
You felt wrong, didn't it?
I was like, this doesn't feel right, But got that going on. It works out better for where I live. I live out in the country. Roads are rough, and it just constantly having to do suspension work on the Cadillac and the Trailblazer because they're just not.
Oh, God.
They're not built for where I live.
The Cadillac the Cadillac took such a beating out there. Talking about
Nice.
the ball joint.
Oh yeah, I put a brand new ball joint in it, and like 8 months later, it just completely blew the whole ball joint out again.
It just broke right off.
People like, we have potholes out where I live that like, if your tire goes in it, it's like half of your tire.
Oh shit.
Like what do you do, you know?
Yeah.
And then there's people out there that drive the big trucks, and they just will run you off the road. Like, they physically do not care. Like, and I'm in this little car, like, oh my gosh. Oh, what was that?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, sorry you're patting it on the dash. It's okay. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm like, oh man, please just another 2 miles to our house.
Right.
Just terrified for my life. But I've been looking for a 50s Chevy truck because I've got a 417 high compression LS and a 4L80 ready to drop in one.
Yes.
I'm just trying to find one that isn't a complete rust bucket,
Yeah.
and somebody's not off their rocker with their pricing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
I seen one on Barry
absolutely
Jackson
off their
last week.
rocker.
Yeah.
I looked at one yesterday. I didn't even tell you this.
What?
I was
Did you go see it?
Yeah, like I was driving home from work, or I had to go by the post office. And I was leaving the post office, and I looked over, and I was like, "Holy cow! There's a gray '55 Chevy right there for sale." Called the guy up, looked at it. No motor, no trans. It's got some rust, and it's got some, we'll call them spotty repairs. I saw
There you
like
go.
fiberglass repair on the steel door, like.
Yes. High
like-
quality.
And then the guy's like, "Yeah, I'm asking 14."
What?
1400.
And I was like, "Yeah, like, what do we? Yeah, it's got new tires and this and that." He's like, "It's got power brakes," and I was like, "Oh, you did a disc brake conversion on the front?" No, it's just power drum brakes.
Mm.
And the more like he's saying, the more I'm like, 14.
Yeah, I'm out of here.
That's highly suspect on that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
So
But should
why
we-
that body style? Why that generation of trucks?
man, I just like the way they look. They're nice round body lines. It
Mhm.
flows real good through the whole thing. Like,
The bumpers. And
yeah, like
grill.
just the front of them, the headlights with the little, I
Yep.
want to call them eyebrows because the
Yeah,
fender
and
hangs
just-
over.
Yep.
Yeah, looks like an eyebrow on the headlight. Like,
Yeah.
man, I just love
Yeah,
those trucks.
that's a great body style too. And it was popular for a long time and then kind of fell out as people started building C10s. And so
Yeah, I'm gonna say
Now-
the square
now a lot of
bodies took over.
Yeah.
yeah. And now a lot of folks are kind of looking for that neat stuff, and that's definitely a cool truck. And it's bigger than what the previous generation was, so you can actually get like a real seat in it and haul 3 people and
Yeah.
not be like, oh god.
Okay, it's a 2-person truck. Those trucks didn't come with cup holders, so I'll do 2 captain's chairs with a center console with cup holders.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah. What's the
Yeah.
what are you going to do suspension wise?
Well, I've been talking to a company about a full custom chassis doing
Yeah.
4-wheel independent suspension.
Yes. That sounds fun. I
So
know I
it's-
liked you guys.
So I'm looking, NA with what should be done to it, I should make around 600 to the tire.
Yeah.
With what I'll have done to it, which is NA, that's a lot of power.
Yeah.
Oh, dude,
like,
that's beefy.
It's
Yeah.
scooting pretty good. But with 4-wheel independent suspension, I'll be able to like go to the drag strip and race on the drag strip. I also race motorcycles, so like at
Yep.
Hallett, they have like days where you can take your cars out there. Well, I could take that
Mhm.
old truck out there and like take it around the track, and like
Yeah.
it would just be.
That's gonna be so.
I just
fun.
want something that I can essentially do a lot of my motorsport stuff with in one package.
Yeah. Dude, you
Right,
could tow
and
the
it's-
motorcycle to the track in that truck.
Oh,
Be
I would
perfect.
do that all day.
Yeah, that would look awesome.
I might
And
have to upgrade my motorcycle trailer. It's
could
a
you
little draggy.
technically,
Oh, yeah.
is fiberglass as light as rust? Because rust is lighter than carbon fiber. So like, that dude is just getting you a race truck ready on the repair on the door.
Yeah,
That's
I could just do
that's
the
cool.
tube doors like the Jeep people.
No. Yeah. Right.
Not in
Have a
that
tube
truck,
door.
man. Now, I'm not opposed to you building a cart. I think that would be fun. Everybody should have a cart and a car they don't care about at some point in your life. But so
That's
all right,
pretty much what it says to me.
yeah, right.
You just not
That's
care
it.
about any of your cars? I'm like, they're cars.
Yep. I'm going to beat on them. I'm going to repair them. I'm going to sell them. I'm going to buy something else.
Yep.
And do the same. Yep.
Exactly.
That's cool. I can appreciate that. So, all right, back to race week. We're talking tires, throwing car. I mean, like
fire, trailer.
Yeah.
My dad went as a road
Take us
weeker.
through day one. Yeah. Because day one was crazy and passes.
I don't even want to go on this route. Day one, we caught fire 2 times.
Where was the first time is the best one though?
Yeah, the first time we're literally sitting in the line to like check in and they go over all your stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And
tech line.
Yeah, the
just
tech
everybody
line,
understands. They're going to tell him if they can go on this trip or not in this car, in this truck.
as we catch fire in the tech line.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah, the dude's like, "Is that smoking?" Jason's like, "Nah, that's not smoke." And then we pop it up. It's like
big old
like,
smoke cloud. We look down, his steering wheel boots on fire.
Yeah.
Like
That's awesome.
I was like, wow, this trip is already off to a great time.
Yeah, and then you had issues with the generator in the trailer too, I think, right?
yeah.
Well, the day before we left, my dad, who told me, "Oh, the generator, I just ran it yesterday, is not starting."
He meant yesterday, like 2 years ago.
Yeah, exactly. That's just how my dad is, though. And love the guy, but geez Louise, sometimes. So literally the day before we're leaving, I have to tear the whole generator apart and rebuild the whole carb and clean out the whole gas tank and all this just to get to start so we can make sure we have power to the trailer.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because only Tulsa and Ennis had trailer hookups. No one else had hookups for campers. So we needed the generator, for sure. And then we just had a problem after problem with the trailer. The refrigerator decided it wasn't working anymore. Then the battery, so everything has to have a 5-volt reference. Well, there's a battery on the front of it. Well, then that battery wasn't charging when it was plugged into the generator. And then what else? We had a blowout on the trailer. The trailer, it's like a 2019, is the newest thing we got and had the most issues the entire trip. Every night pretty much consisted of me working on the trailer till 2 or 3 in the morning, just while everyone else is asleep.
Yep.
And
you're back there cranking on it, cussing. Everybody's up there. Keep it down, dude. We're trying to sleep.
Yeah, I'm just kind of under the trailer, flashlight in my mouth, trying to work on things above my head and find tools because we got limited tools, just whatever we brought, So I'm like, geez Louise.
And they shut all the lights off.
Then they turn all the lights off at 1 in the morning. So then it's like pitch black.
I'm down there taking selfies with him in the background.
Gotta get that content, bro.
Yeah.
It's not going great.
Yeah. I think by the time we got back, I'd maybe slept a total of like 16 hours in 5 days.
I don't even think it was that.
And I was like, that might even be like a stretch. But on one of the longer drives, I did get to take a little nap in the car for a little bit. So
that's true.
That was much needed for sure.
Yeah, for sure. So you guys, I think at one point the AC was out in the Trailblazer. Is that right? Or it was too hot to run it?
It was too hot.
Yeah.
When we were in Ennis, it was 108. I think.
107.
And the heat index was like 118 or almost 120 with the heat index. And
we just kept turning it on.
As long as we turned the AC off, it didn't overheat. But the moment we would turn the AC on, it would just start overheating because we got, what was there? There was that crash. What had happened? Because the traffic was way back. Oh, the one lane. Because the construction with the light.
Oh my
only
God.
One side was going through the time. So traffic with all of us was just so backed up.
We ended up turning the car off at one point.
At one point we just turned it off and just sat there. And like cars in front of us started moving. He's like, should we fire it up? I was like, nope. And about 30 feet, they're going to stop. Sure enough, 30 feet, they just stopped. And then once we saw them really going, we fired it up and went. But it was hot that day. Real hot.
Man, it was so hot. And what's crazy is it was like nice the day before. It was hot on our trip to Ennis. It was hot on the way to Tulsa, and then it was perfect the rest of the week.
Yeah, it was good.
It was just
Tulsa was
just our trip into Texas was brutal.
Yeah, it was windows down. It wasn't helping.
No.
At one point, he got overheated and went and got in the truck with my dad pulling the camper because
Yeah.
their AC was just fine, obviously.
Yep.
So he could cool off because I was like, man, you're not looking good. Are you feeling all right? He's like,
No,
I'm not doing good, man.
it was bad.
He's like,
Yeah.
this is not good. And then
Yeah.
I was like, well, I'll just sit in the driver's seat and you can go get in the car with them.
Oh
So-
yeah. Oh, that was good. Yeah, it was like what do they call Chinese fire drill? We were in traffic. Jason's driving, and I'm like, dude, I have got to cool down for like a few seconds or something.
Yeah.
So like traffic stopped. I jump out of the Trailblazer, go run and jump in the back seat of the truck, and just like, I'm like,
Yes.
just tell me when traffic starts moving again. And then right as traffic moves, I get out and go run and jump back. Because I was like, I don't know if I'm breaking rules. I'm going to go get back in the Trailblazer.
Dude, I think dying is you need to stay alive. That's the main thing.
I think
You need to
heat
stay-
stroke is like an okay deal if you have to.
Yeah, it's
go.
like an exception. Yeah.
Maybe.
Here's the other side of that too. You know, the way we always look at it is I'm probably not going to win my class, you know, because we're in unlimited. So I'm like, I don't give a shit. Like we're here for the fun, you know. So
Yeah.
and to make passes, you know. See how fast
Well,
we
yeah,
can
it
go
was-
during the week.
Day 3, we were still pretty competitive, and we just
We were in
Then-
6th on day 3.
Yeah. And then on day 4, we just could not get it together. Too fast, throw in 2 tires, go faster than we went without the 2 tires.
Yeah.
On the same everything.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
what? And then we go up to 4 tires, and then like, oh, we still were too fast. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and I was just like, we don't have any smaller jets. So essentially, I told him, I said,
Oh, right.
when you hit the 8th mile, just flip the nitro system off and just back half it on motor.
Yeah.
And then that got us the only pass that we could turn in there.
Yeah, it was like a, what was it? Was that the
But
1-2?
13,
Oh,
yeah.
13-13.
yeah, the 13-13, which we have been
Dude, that's
turning in
crazy.
13-0 passes the whole time, you know?
Yeah.
So that really, right there, that knocked us back to like 9th or 10th. And we were just like, well,
I mean, all right. So for the folks that are listening, I want like understand that. Like you guys are in, you know, 4th or 5th, 6th place, and you run a 13-13, and now you're like, you know, 9th. Like
our class was like,
It was
there was a guy in our
super
class that
competitive.
turned in a 13-004.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
Like a
right.
double O. You get a double O. I mean,
It's over.
Yeah, you're doing
That man's
something.
winning.
he did that
Yeah.
at like two out of the 5 tracks.
That's
Yeah, that's
crazy.
right.
Like his average was like a 13-0, you know, low number.
Yeah.
And it was just like,
And didn't he end up winning the class too?
yeah, he did end up winning it.
Yeah.
But he
That's
turned
crazy.
in, like I said,
And,
a couple
and no
13-0s.
delay boxes or anything like that are allowed in that class, right? Like
Yeah.
you can't.
Yeah.
Like
No.
you're just it's pedaling it to get there.
That's
That's so crazy.
It's just how dialed his car was, right?
Yeah. Bad
It's legit.
Bad Tree Productions. We're going to talk about bikes in a minute because we're all mountain bikers. So, but do you guys want to just give a quick rundown of the bikes? Because, like, yeah. So, because you were riding around on an electric bike for a little
Yeah.
bit, and
I've
then,
actually, I got 2 electric bikes now, and then my other 2 bikes that we had on race week.
nice.
He's got a lot of bikes now.
I've got like 5 or
Like
6
it.
bikes.
Yeah.
'Cause
Hey,
we
that's
had-
the way to
we
do
had-
it.
Hey, that's
We
single
had
male
3.
life.
Yeah, we had 3 on the roof of the Trailblazer for
Yeah.
all of race week.
Yeah.
Which
Ooh,
we
that's
got
what I'm
some
going to
sweet
change the
roller
cover
pics.
shot to. Is that?
So,
That's cool. Yeah.
yeah. And you live where all the mountain bike trails are.
Yeah, dude. I'm
And
telling
not
you.
that far.
I haven't been on the bike since race week. Not one time.
You know what's funny?
Wow.
I haven't ridden trails since like before race week.
Mhm.
We have like a little riverside trail that follows the Arkansas River that I ride all the time, but I don't like just the way work's been and like life and
Oh,
stuff. I
that's
haven't been
right,
able
yeah.
to like go ride trails.
Yeah.
So it's like I'll go ride the pavement, ride that. Oh gosh, what do we usually ride? Like 28 to 36 miles. But that's on the e-bike, so
Yeah.
it ain't.
I mean,
mean,
hey, that's
It's
still
not.
pedaling.
It's not that impressive.
I mean,
Yeah,
it's
it
good
feels like
exercise.
14 or 15, but dude, that's still a bunch of miles. Like,
Yeah,
what are you talking
exactly.
about?
It's just to stay in shape. It's cardio.
That's awesome. Yeah, keep the cardio up.
But,
That's one thing I haven't done. And if this thing showed down below this, you would see I need to get on that bike.
I wore this loose shirt so you couldn't see my big belly because I like to eat.
Got to get some of that race weight down.
You know.
So
Right.
So
my bike, the bike itself is a Magnum Magnum i6, I think is what it is. And then my trail bikes I've got a Giant Trance 29er 2, and then I have a Yeti SB55C, which is an enduro bike.
That's the carbon one, right?
Yeah, it's carbon, but that one's a lot better because I went to Colorado to some downhill. That bike is a lot better for that. But for most of the trails around here, the Giant, it's a trail bike, so the suspension and the geometry is way different.
Yeah.
And it just
set up here, quick turns.
It's easier. Yeah.
Yeah.
But the Yeti downhill in Colorado.
Yeah. Endurance stuff, enduro bikes here, man, it's almost hard to climb, because like you're so far back and just trying to wheelie and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's something I learned real quick after I got it and tried to go trail ride it around here.
Yeah.
I was like, I am like twice as gassed and rode half as far.
Yeah. Yeah. So I had a cross country hardtail 29 before I bought my full suspension, and I went like full on cross country to full on 160 millimeter enduro, laid back, and it is a completely different workout on your legs, like different spots, different parts of your leg. I mean, my quads were like huge. So
that's how the e-bike is. Hey, if you want an e-bike, I got one I'm getting ready to sell.
Yeah. Hey, message him, because here's the deal. I don't know anything about the Walmart e-bike, but I do know that there's been a couple times where I've ridden some of the Walmart bikes, and just they're
not, the quality control is not there.
Well, that, and then like suspension travel is is non-existent
at best.
Essentially, yeah. And then but if you're going to be on the Greenway, I mean, maybe, I don't know what kind of bike it is, but
if you're just
and then be ready to upgrade. Brakes are a big deal on that kind of stuff. You got to be able to stop. Cable disc brakes, man, that's scary.
Cable disc brakes are still better than rim brakes, though.
Oh, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Am I like?
You may not die.
Yeah, hydraulic disc brakes on bikes is like, the first time I rode one with it, I flipped over the handlebars. Like, I grabbed, shoot. I mean, we're older guys. We remember the old bikes, and you used to grab them just as hard as you could.
Oh yeah, and then like slow to a stop,
And man, I was riding my buddies, because my buddy's actually the one that got me into riding. And I was out riding with him, and I grabbed the brake, and man, I just went right over the handlebars. I mean, and he's just behind me, just cracking out. Thinks it's the funniest thing he's ever seen. Yeah. And you think I would learn, and literally like 45 minutes later in our ride, I grabbed it again and did the same damn thing. Some idiots have to learn twice.
Yeah, I mean, this was beneficial for me though, because when he sold me his old Giant, he's like, "Look, watch it on these brakes, man." And I have not made that mistake due to that advice.
Nice. Yeah, I typically fall off.
Mistake, though.
Yes.
Yeah, I typically fall off the side of mine. That's where mine is. I throw it down or jump off. Yeah. Over the front, I haven't done many times. And usually, I don't. You do the dismount, like you throw the bike, jump over the bars. I don't do that much in 40 anymore, but.
Yeah, I don't suggest flipping over the bars.
It's never fun
experience.
No, you usually don't land right. It's not a good way to land. Streetcar Chronicles, who was on last night, was talking about the Trailblazer was super cool at Mid America and kicked everyone's ass. That's probably part of the problem.
Thanks,
you don't want to go too fast. I know that's what you guys struggled with quite a bit. What's the plan for next year? You going to step up to the 12.0 class? You going to take a different rig?
Oh man, we
got a lot
exciting.
of plans going on.
Yes,
we're swapping from a
lot of work this guy's going to be doing.
He's not wrong. We are getting rid of the fogger kit and going to a plate kit. We're switching from the 243 heads that are stock on the Trailblazer SSs. We've got some 821 heads, some LS3 heads that we're getting ported and upgraded valves and springs and all that.
Matching bigger cam to go
Yeah,
with
and then we're gonna get a
heads.
cam spec for the bigger heads. We're getting a new intake manifold. We're getting a carbon PTR
carbon.
It's got the adjustable runners and stuff, and it's all carbon, so that'll be super sweet.
Oh, so I'll have a Trailblazer SS intake manifold available for you, hopefully in time for when you need it.
So I've got one now for the old truck, but I will need one for the LS for the cart. So I'm definitely in. What I really need is a set of rails. That's what a set of fuel rails to be able to do it, to put it in the old trucks.
We'll have a set of rails too, because that intake comes with rails.
Yeah.
They have to sell you their rails.
I will call you first when that thing comes off the car.
Yes, yeah, definitely, because you guys are close. You're in Tulsa, and I'll run over. Danny Fatka here's who is the idea behind 12 Podcasts of Christmas. He says, I'm not on Facebook. That is true. Another like 9 hours until I can post on Facebook. That's why we're not here. What's so sad is the first two of these I had set up before I was banned, and so it kept it. Well, then when I went to put this one into StreamYard, which is the system we use for this, it kicked it out. It wouldn't let me post them on Facebook. So bastards, Nazi bastards. I'll punch whoever I want to in the wiener, you bastards. Well, let me rephrase that. I'll threaten to punch anybody I want to in the wiener.
Have you seen the guy at the UFC deal at the fight, and he just stands up and he's like, rip his dick off.
Yeah.
Twist his dick. Like, what just happened? What
are you talking about?
This is an MMA fight, bro. This is easy.
Yeah, this isn't that kind of fight, man. I don't know what you're watching.
Yeah.
Yep. So yeah, we're close. Tomorrow, I feel bad for people that have been missing us on, and it was 815 who I was telling I was going to do that to. I'm going to literally, Facebook is going to be like, who let this guy loose? Because I'm just going to go crazy. I'm going to post. I'm scheduling posts. I'm going to get up at 3 a.m. and schedule posts just to hourly about 12 pods of Christmas on YouTube. I'm not even going to give Facebook the chance, you dirty bastards. So anyways, but it's led me to find a new automotive app called Throttle, and I've been posting over there a bunch. So pretty stuff, neat stuff coming. So it's supposed to be really cool. Like they've got a big update coming, and it'll be more along the lines of like a like Motor Trend app where it's they're gonna target people that have YouTube channels and things like that. So
is this the Throttle
be really
YouTube
neat
channel people?
Do what?
There's like the YouTube channel called Throttle. Is it the same people?
No, it's not. It's a THROD as in dog, LE. So it's some lady overseas, like in Europe or some shit like that. It's pretty neat, and what they've got coming is supposed to be really big. That's one of the things we're going to talk about with Matt tomorrow night, because he's heavily involved in it with all the Mopar stuff. So the struggle, and sorry, we'll just dive off into this real quick. The struggle we have, like as YouTubers, is YouTube is really how-to stuff. So with our entertainment type stuff, it's very hard to get a foothold, grow your channel, things like that, unless you have something that takes off like Cletus's videos do. So typically for us to do something like that, I gotta light something on fire.
6 hours.
Right.
Yeah, it's crazy. Him and Hoovy, man. Hoovy's great, dude. Like, I'll look at it and be like, 42 minutes ago, it's got 140,000 views. I'm like, this motherfucker.
Right. and we're over here high-fiving like, dude, we got 1,000.
After a month, I'm excited if I get 1,000 on something. So, people sub to me and never watch. So whatever, I don't care. Sadly, as I cry myself.
That's something I've noticed, because a lot of these people that I watch on YouTube will be like, hey, all of you people like watching, it tells me that like 62% of you aren't even subscribed to my channel, but like it's the same percentage every day. So I know you guys are watching. Just hit the damn button. Yeah, like, it doesn't cost anything, and it helps us out so much. For real.
If you've watched more than 2 of my videos, you better be subscribed.
If you're not
we'll find you.
Annoyed by our BS and childish laughter throughout the videos, then you're probably enjoying them as much as we do. So subscribe.
Well, and see that I think that's where us small automotive YouTubers struggle a little bit, is because you have, I don't know if you guys watch the big channels, but if you do, typically, like if I'm rewatching a video of mine because I'm trying to remember what I put in the last one, it immediately kicks me to like a Cletus video or some other big channel or something. So I'm like, send me to small channels. I don't know, whatever.
Right.
Algorithms.
I would prefer that.
Yeah, please leave me. Hell, if you're watching my video, leave it on my channel. Let them see a second video from me. Let me get that view count, please.
Yeah.
So, anyways, we can talk YouTube later. What else? Just we were talking bikes. We're talking race week. We didn't make it to day 5.
Upgrades.
Yeah. How was day 5 of race week?
By day 5, like we knew we weren't gonna like break into the top 5. Like we would have had to run like a 13
to even get top 6, I think.
Yeah. So we were like, we wanted to have a fun pass where we just let her eat. And so we got out there, I think we got like a 13, 12 or so. Yeah.
And we're like, all right, just turn that in. It doesn't matter at this point. Like, we're so far behind that.
Yeah. So then we just did we put 100 in or 100 or 125?
We did 125.
Oh yeah, because we still had a bunch of gas.
Yeah, we almost had a full tank.
Yeah. So we just threw a 125 in and we ran a 12.23.
Nice.
Just for fun.
Yeah. That's awesome. How many tires were in the back on that pass? Did you get to the end? You're like, oh shit, there's 3 tires in here.
Yeah. Oh man, I forgot to take those out.
Yeah. That's awesome.
I think we're gonna try to get a trailer for next year because unloading and loading the car that you're racing, it was not fun. Like that was one of the worst things because you've been out. Well, for me, I'm running on little sleep already, so I'm not feeling it.
Yeah.
And then we drive all day.
Yep.
You get there, you unload the car, then you race all day, and it was hot. We're tired. Problems, issues, and you're just exhausted at the end of the day. And then it's like now we have to load all of this stuff back into the car and load everything up the night before because I already know I'm not going to do it in the morning.
No.
Like,
that's not an option. You guys had the benefit. You were staying at the track. Where you were driving on different tires than you were racing on, right?
Correct.
Yeah. You swap tires, all that kind of stuff.
Yes and no. I mean, it was the same tire, just his are older and they were dry rotted and cracked. So we didn't think like we should just be going down the track and just.
Yeah.
I was like, it's one thing if we break one, on the road and we've got my 4 spares because I still had my Trailblazer at the time and I had the same wheels he has with the same tire set up, everything. Yeah. I was like, so I got 4 spares because mine was all wheel drive.
Yeah.
So we just loaded those up, and I was like, we'll take all 4, and then if we have a blowout on the highway or the road or whatever, we can just throw one of those on and keep going. It's not a big deal.
Yep. Yeah, the great thing about hauling extra tires is they're freaking heavy by day 3.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Dude, they were heavy by day 2.
Oh, yeah. Man, it was.
You know what, though? The tires weren't the big thing. It was the floor jack. Because there was no good way to grab it.
No, and it always hurts your hand on that one side. Yeah.
Yep.
Because I had the tire rack, the tire bags. So they have a handle. You just grab the handle and put the tire in. The floor jack, there was just no real good, easy way to do it and not pinch your finger or have just be in an awkward position as you're trying to sit down with this jack.
Blow your back out.
We're a little older. We're not trying to throw our backs out either,
Yeah. We would. So we learned, last year, 2020, we yard sold it. But the struggle was in the cart, we didn't have any room. So the 81-pound, 31-inch tall tires went on the roof. Well, then you get to the track, they'd have to come off the roof. You'd be like, God damn. Because we put the shorter tire on, one to help with bounce, because the car would rub on the big tires with all the weight in the back. And then
that's what the Sawzall's for.
We just kept cutting, man. I didn't realize it until I got home this last time I've driven that car 10,000 miles, that it's actually on the inside of the fender. There's a spot where it's cut out for the seat. It actually drops down in. I'm like, to hit that thing with a hammer. So next time the tires drop, I'm just going to waylay that thing. So that'll take care of all the rubbing. But so I think you almost have to yard sell it the first year. You have to do that. You have to earn your stripes. You have to pack and unpack and pack and unpack and pack them. So for everybody that hasn't done it, when you go on vacation next,
get a trailer.
Get rid of U-Haul. But next time you go on vacation with your family, load the car up, drive to where you're going, unload the car, carry everything in. pack everything back up and put it back in the car the next morning just for the day, unpack it at night. I mean, dude, yeah, get a trailer. And we bought a $150 trailer. I put some bigger hubs on it so the wheels at least matched the cart in case we had an issue. I'd have left that trailer anywhere if it.
Hey, I was thinking ahead though.
Yeah, hey, I was like, man,
make sure the wheels are the same.
It looks good.
That's big brain right there.
Yeah, I had debated. There were some trailer tires. I had debated if it had lived when we got to Oklahoma City, we were gonna really throw the big jet in it and unplug the wastegate and see what it would do, and run the trailer tires as fronts, as front runners. So they're like a 4-inch wide trailer tire. So what I mean, like I was like, oh man, this is all right, and then it all went to shit. So
I knew on day 4, it was day 4, right? That everything just
yeah.
When we were all loading up and doing everything, and you guys were all just sitting there, like nobody was working on nothing. Like nope, like they had just admitted, like they're like, yeah, we're defeated, and everybody was just sitting there, like just looking at the car, having a drink or whatever, and just like, well, we're out.
Yeah, dude, it sucked, man. So when we lost. Really third gear. When we lost third gear, that was the breaking point for sure. But that was as we headed towards Oklahoma City. If we could have kept third gear, we'd have went on. But man, having to shift to second, mat it, and then get up to like 80 and throw it to neutral, and then coast for as far as we could. That wasn't going to go for 200 miles. I could guarantee.
I'm about to say, in the Oklahoma hills, that does not fly.
No, not at all. So we'll fix it next time. The struggle I have is, an LS in my parts bin is so much easier. Like we've got 3 sets of heads. I've got 5 intakes. I've got all these extra injectors. I mean, like it's easy for me to do the math on an LS file because it's easy. I go to look at a rebuild kit for the trans in the Grand Marquis, and it's like $600 just in parts for some good clutches. I'm like, man, for $600 I can buy an 80. I'm like, I can probably get a short block for free.
Yeah, shoot, I got like 3 6.0 4L80 swaps right now at my shop. When
sounds
Dad's
like
friend, hey, we're getting rid of this. We're getting rid of this work truck. We want $400 for it. I'm like, oh, what is it? Oh, it's a 03 Chevy 2500. I'm like, gas motor? Yeah. All right, I'll take it.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't know. Would you take $350 for it?
Well, we talked to one dude. He was asking $600, and we ended up paying like, I think right at $400 for it.
That's awesome.
Not bad.
Yeah. He's like, it runs and drives. Like
that's what's crazy. And those trucks are beat to hell and all that stuff.
It has 300,000 miles on it, but
hey, rings are set in.
Yeah, ready for boost.
Yeah, that's exactly right. The old truck, it's funny. You'll get a kick out of this. So the old truck, it had 215,000, and I have literally beat the crap out of it since putting the turbo on it, and it smokes pretty hard on decel right now. So like, I'll get in it, it'll light the tires off, and then I let out, and like the tire smoke stays back there, and then it's just like this plume of blue. So, for people that don't know, they're like, dang, that dude's still smoking the tires, but it's not. It's the motor.
Whoops.
Yeah, hey, that's what it is. Sloppy mechanic special.
He's down talking this a bit. So, like, remember I said I have a 4L80 that came from him. There's like 3 more sitting at the shop. There's like 2 motors sitting around. I don't even know how many heads are on that shelf. There's at least 3 sets. Like,
yeah.
If it's available and he can get it and make use of it, it's in that shop right now.
Now, what usually happens is I'm sitting at home, have a few drinks, get on Facebook Marketplace, start offering people just stupid low amounts of money for their parts, and then wake up the next morning with like 7. Yeah, I'll take that.
Yeah.
And then next thing you know, you've got 4 6.0 iron blocks and 4 4L80s and 2 sets of LS3 heads and 4 sets of 243 heads and
that's the way it works. Like for us, like Jonathan Stonecipher's building a really nice big inch LS, and he was like, man, I've got these heads I don't need anymore. Can you use them? I'm like, yep. And so I go over, super cheap. And then the other day, buddy named Tyler Henderson was like, hey, he just moved from a house that had a big shop, sold a bunch of stuff, took a bunch of stuff with him to his new 2-car garage. He's like, I'm tired of tripping over this aluminum block setup. Do you want it? It's free. The block is junk, but you can build a coffee table out of it. It's got heads on it. I'm like, okay, cool. Yeah. So just some simple 806 heads, but I'm like, yep, those will go on something eventually.
So we'll carry it as a spare,
Yeah.
I mean, we're not like Cletus and then burning through blocks and cylinder heads on the race week, but
right.
Yeah.
You never know.
I'm too scared to turn my stuff up that
or
much.
whatever.
Yeah, right. That's awesome. So what else? What do we need to talk about? You want to talk about YouTube for a little bit?
Sure,
why you got started recording? Why you keep recording? What you've learned in the time you've been recording?
Well, so I had mentioned like how we met, but what I didn't mention was like the 6-month period of me trying to figure out why the hell this guy wanted to hang out with me.
He thought I was going to kill him.
Dude,
that's a real story. I'll get his wife in here and she'll admit it.
She'll say that I was, because like, I'm sitting around and he's texting me, hey man, I'm doing this is going on, check this out, sending me pictures of cars. And I'm talking to my wife. I'm like, why the hell is this guy texting me so much? And my wife's like, he's trying to be your friend, dumbass. So, it was this like, there was the me getting used to him period.
He came out to my house and thought I was going to murder him.
I was very concerned about what might be going on at a bonfire.
Yeah.
Well, okay, he says his house. Oh, my house. It's in like, if you're going out there at
Google
night,
Maps won't even take you to my house because like they don't know the road keeps going. They don't know there's a house back where there's a house.
But yeah, it's in Coweta and this big farm. There's no street lights.
Oh, there's no street lights like 3 miles around us.
And he's like, just follow the dark path to where the big fire is. And I'm like telling my wife, I'm like, look, if I start running, just you better keep up.
He said, "Your sacrifice."
Yeah, he wore his nice tennis shoes that night.
So it was weird, sort of getting used to hanging out with people for me. But there was one idea he had that was, and we have a video on it where he was like, "Hey, it'd be cool is if we built our own OBD to gauge screen." And I was like, "Oh, I could do that."
Nice.
Much larger project than originally.
It was much more difficult than.
It does function though.
Yes, it's just the integration part isn't quite done.
Gotcha.
But so we did that, and someone else had talked about doing a YouTube channel, and then they just kind of fizzled, but we were still talking about it, and we're like, why don't we just do it? I mean, we had already done like the cam.
Yeah, I was like, we're literally doing all the stuff that these people millions of people are watching those people do.
Yeah.
Like if we can just grab a few cameras and then record us doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you're the computer guy. I work on cars for a living. Like.
It was a really
great
good division.
I was like, this will work good.
Yeah, we'll be famous.
Well, I don't know about that, but
I don't need to be famous.
Yeah, calm down, Mike.
Listen, I don't need to be famous. I just need somebody to write me a check every month so I can buy more car parts. That's what I need.
That'd be nice.
That would be the goal for sure.
Yeah.
But no, it was like, we COVID and all that happened, and we had been hanging out, and we're like looking for stuff to do, and we're like, we could do that, and the division of labor was pretty perfect because he's got the shop and knows all that mechanical stuff, and I'm the dork with the office with all the Batman stuff who works on computers. So
see all the screens over here? That's all he does.
Oh yeah,
IT guy.
So I had never edited videos or anything, so I learned all the software side of it, and he just did all the heavy lifting.
That's awesome. And the other cool part of that too is like, again, I say it all the time, you've documented all that fun stuff. So like when you're old and those grandkids come over, you can be like,
look how cool
was awesome.
Look how handsome I used to be.
See all this hair that I used to have? That's going to be my problem.
Well, I'm pretty sure our biggest fan and the person who watches our channel more than anybody is my.
They got the bell push too. They be getting the notifications.
Yeah, my my older brother's son, Nate. So my nephew,
Nice.
he apparently, and I feel like this is payback, like due to my brother for, being the older brother. And, there's the bickering and all that.
Yeah, I'm
now
an older
he
brother.
has
I know.
to. Yeah. So you know what's up.
Yeah,
now he has to see my face on his TV all the time.
That's great.
Yeah.
And hear his son talk about you. Like he's like, oh my God. That's awesome.
It's great.
So what should for the folks that are in here that don't follow you, which they're crazy if they don't, I really tell them what they should expect, and I'm going to go grab a link to the channel so they can just follow it easily. Okay. What should they be looking for on your channel? What are they going to see?
Drag racing, nitrous, fun.
Yeah.
I do sport bike racing,
mm-hmm.
So we're going to try and get more of that. I'm going to try and go to a few more tracks this year than I usually do.
He's got a Gixxer 600.
Yeah, I got a little Gixxer 600 track bike.
Nice.
And then I got my 4Runner, and we're kind of doing a little build series on that. I'm going to try and do a full long travel suspension setup, kind of like a trophy truck.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
I'm so excited now.
4-inch wider fenders, like the whole shebang. And I've got custom front bumper coming with a winch, and I didn't film it because it took like 30 minutes, but I've got a roof rack for it. Yeah. And then I've got a rear bumper ordered, like just a bunch of cool little things for it. And we'll probably take that. And we've got a few trails around here that some friends of ours and stuff go to, and we'll go out wheeling with them and get some of that.
Yeah, we've got a plan to actually have some folks from Houston come out that follow the channel. One of them I work with at my non-YouTube job, and they love going mudding in the Jeeps and all that stuff. Yeah. And as soon as they saw we had the 4Runner, they're like, "Dude, we know some trails. Like, get that thing ready to go and let's do a video." So we've got one of those planned for sometime probably early next year. We'll do that. But the long travel that's official. That's going to happen.
Yeah, it's happening.
Yes.
It's like 18 inches of independent suspension travel on the front.
Essentially,
I'm gonna be able to take this thing off a jump, and I'd like to get it like 2 or 3 feet in the air and then just land it. And
they got some sweet jumps.
Yeah, that'd be ideal.
Awesome.
Which out of my house, we have.
There's nothing cooler than like the big arm look as it like drops and comes down.
It widens the front end 9 inches, 4.5 inches aside.
Wow!
So the whole front end gets 9 inches wider.
Yes,
that's gonna look so cool.
And it goes from right now it's got a 2-inch lift, and it'll go up to a 3-inch lift with that.
So, damn, dude, that's awesome. And then what size tires will you run on it? I guess probably like a.
It's got a 33 on it right now, but if I go to a 3-inch lift, I can actually go up to a 37. But I thought about just keeping the 33s because it looks so much cooler when it's like flying and it's all flexed out and you're bouncing it and jumping it and Plus, the bigger your tire gets, so does the price tag.
Yes.
Yeah. So, I mean, I might maybe go to a 35 just because, but 33s for everything I'm going to be doing with it is more than enough, realistically.
Well, that
gives you a little more.
33s.
Oh, they're 33s too? Oh, okay.
Yeah, that gives you a little more wheel gap, makes it look a little taller, all that kind of cool stuff.
Yeah.
That's
until you add that extra 2 inches of tire, and then you're like, how do I get in this thing now? I'm already have to get up in the morning and do a little stretch before I walk out to my car to step up in it.
Right.
I ordered rock slide step panels, but they haven't come in yet. So it's a big leap to step up in it right now.
Kind of grab the door handle and the steering wheel and pull yourself up.
It's got 2 oh shit handles. It's got one up above and then one on the pillar, so you can just both arms and lift yourself up in.
Dude, that's crazy. That's crazy. So when are you guys coming to Bentonville? When are we going to ride together? Do I got to come over there and ride with you guys?
No, we got to come to Bentonville.
Yeah, Bentonville's
way better.
Claremore, though. Claremore Mountain Bike Trail.
Mm-hmm.
It's a trail group around here that I volunteer at a lot and go out there and help them do some of the mountain bike trails. They just put in 2 new jump lines this last 3 weeks while I've been out of town.
Yes.
So I'm ready to go.
Yeah, it sounds like I need to maybe move
time.
Oh, it's brutal.
It kills me.
Yeah. There's no after work ride anymore. A lot of the guys here, they're like, "Oh man, come night ride with us." I'm like, "F y'all, man, I can't do that." Like, I'm gonna
I almost crashed during the daylight.
Like I ain't doing that.
I almost hit trees when I can see.
Oh yeah, man. There's no way I'm taking off some little $22 light that's on the front that's just doing this. I'm trying to ease down this hill, So yeah. So we typically
I need to go back. It's got to happen.
You didn't do so well.
It was the first trip out to Bentonville for me was terrible, and I was not.
We have it on film, but we have not posted that video.
I don't think I'm going to post it. It's bad. So we're thinking it's going to rain.
Let's just tell you this whole trip.
Oh God.
We get up in the morning because it's like an hour and a half drive from here to there. Right?
Yeah.
I'm like, we'll leave it this time. It puts us there at that time. We ride early because it warms up fast. I said, we'll ride for a few hours and then we will go, into town, have some lunch.
Yeah.
You guys can go to the Crystal Bridges Museum and we'll all go back out and ride. Or if you want us to come ride with us, you can do that too.
Yeah, the kiddos.
He had his wife and kids. So I was like, And so we get there, we get everything unloaded, and it is much warmer at 10 in the morning than we had originally anticipated.
Yeah.
We were like, oh, it'll be, low 80s.
Rainy.
Yeah, and it's supposed to be cloudy and potential of rain. Okay, It ended up being 98. No cloud anywhere.
So let me tell you what happens. That's the rest of Northwest Arkansas. But Walmart is here in Bentonville, and they're like, we want it to be pretty today. So push that button for sunny weather. And it just happens. So
yeah. So we get to riding. Because this is whenever my tire, I bent my rim.
Oh, and Brandon blew out his shoulder.
So,
oh, jeez.
It was a shit show.
It was a disaster at best. Okay. So we take off down the first trail, all American, right?
Yeah.
It's got that little jump line, blah, blah.
Yep.
We'll ride down there, and then we hit, I'm not even sure what it's called. The one with all the jumps, it's got the big,
Got the up on the left, got the hub and stuff.
Yeah, it's got the hub thing. So you go down it and it's got the jumps and we're doing that or whatever. We do that a few times. Then we're like, all right, let's go ride back. That's my dad. Last time my brother went to Bentonville, we went to the rail yard and he fractured 3 ribs.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I don't go there. I'm like, nope, I'm an idiot. I'll hurt myself.
Oh, that place, when we were there for an hour before my brother got hurt, we watched 15 people injure themselves to the point where they just were leaving.
I keep there's a guy that runs that. Every time I see him, I'm like, dude, when are y'all gonna get cameras and just live stream all day? It's just
all day,
people just destroying themselves.
I swear, I'll flip that on at work and just be watching it.
Oh yeah, it's great. Yeah.
But so we hit that jump line down at the bottom there. Back on track here. And we meet up with this other dude who lives in Claremore somehow.
Oh, yeah.
Randomly start talking to this dude. And he's like, oh, yeah, I came here from Claremore. I work out in Claremore. Blah, blah. And I'm like, bro, I ride at Claremore all the time.
That's cool.
Right? Just crazy. So
real nice.
I was like, let's ride back up over here to this other trail. There's some blue and green trails we can go ride that are pretty fun. And I want to go to Hammer Down because Hammer Down is one of my favorite trails there.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's amazing.
Okay. Yeah. So we're riding. And, I've got my backpack on with my water pack and all my stuff. And he's got all his gear on and and then all of a sudden we turn around to say something to him and he's not there.
The Claremore dude?
No. Ain't
me.
Oh. Earl's just gone.
I was just gone.
And I'm like, did he yell? Did he say, hey, I'm going to stop? Did anybody hear anything? Because there's 5 of us in a group at this point. No one heard him say nothing or anything. We turn around to go ride and find him. We find him, bike on one side of the sidewalk. He's laid out on the other side of the sidewalk with his pads ripped off, his shirt off. And this lady is trying to pour water on him. And he's just red is all get out, almost has a heat stroke essentially.
Yeah.
I'm sensing a pattern here. You need more water, bud.
Yeah, I don't hydrate enough apparently.
So we're like, go over to the little creek there, and we like grab his shirt and soak it and like putting it on him, like, bro, we got to cool you off. And then his wife calls, and he like can barely even talk and breathe at this point.
Yeah.
So that's just a disaster. Then we're trying to explain to her how to get to that lower parking lot down there, because we park up top and then hit the whole. Well, then she has to load up her bike and Dee's bike.
Yeah, TGR was
like,
there.
Yeah, TGR. And like, so we're throwing all these, like, she's having to load the bikes up and like all this to come down here to get him, because he's like.
Yeah. He
and
needs
then
air
on
conditioning.
top of that, she had to drive my truck, which is pretty slammed, and she has never driven it before.
Nice.
It was a good time. So
not good.
I was actually there for my stepson. He wanted a gaming computer for his birthday and Christmas, so I went ahead and got it while we were there because I found one that was a good deal. So there was main reason he was there was so he could like look at it and make sure it was the good deal that I thought it was and we thought it was before I purchased it.
There you go. And then you almost killed him.
Yeah,
pretty much.
That has happened on more than one occasion.
Oh, yeah. Earl, it's fine. You've got this.
Dude, it's only a 2-foot drop. It's like a step.
That's what he will tell me.
Yep.
Next thing you know, I'm on the ground.
Yeah. Yeah, you were supposed to pull up as you came off the end. Yeah. Yeah, I've lived that life before.
We went to lunch after his whole debacle. We actually rode up and had to go find them because they hopped in the truck and drove up, and we had to ride the bikes all the way back up that stupid big hill. Dude, where the hell is the shuttle service when you need one?
Man, like I would Venmo somebody $2 to just drive me back up to that top parking lot.
Like, seriously.
Yeah.
Like, I'll give you $5 a ride.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
And so I won't even think about it. I'll be here's $100. I'll just keep me going all day.
Yeah, just tell me when I'm out. Yeah. For people that don't understand, it's probably what, an eighth of a mile, but it's literally
it's not an eighth of a mile, because according to the mile markers, they have the mile markers, right?
Okay.
According to the mile markers, it's like 1.7 miles. But it's like
from the bottom all the way to the top.
Yeah, it's almost 2 miles.
Get a little
from the
bit
bottom
of a
to
break
the
there in the middle. It kind of flattens.
Yeah, by that one little jump line, and then it instantly goes right back to.
Here's what's shitty.
Super easy.
So, like when I ride at lunch, I come down All American. So, like, and then I ride 7 or 8 miles or whatever, and then I had to do that right before I go back to work. So every time I go back in the office, it's like immediately. Used to when people were in the office. It's immediately in, drop the bike, go downstairs and shower, because you're just drenched.
That uphill is brutal.
Yeah, it doesn't stop.
I'll even pay the e-bike guy, just like toss a rope and just
like,
let's go, buddy.
Yep.
So we go out to lunch, and then I was like, hey, if you guys want to go to the museum, or like, I was like, you guys can walk most of these trails, like as long as you kind of watch out for bikers, it's not a big deal. I've seen dogs and everyone else walking on them.
Yeah, because I was out. I was done.
He's like, I'm not riding anymore. Like,
yeah, I've had my fun.
So at this point, we lost the Claremore guy, and it was just me and my buddy. And I was like, man, let's, we'll take Apple Creek down, and then you come up the backside of Hammer Down on whatever trail that is.
Yep.
I was like, and we'll go up there and we'll hit Hammer Down 2 or 3 times, and then we'll go hit Leopard's Loop, like all those little trails over there.
Yeah.
So
that's all the stuff I ride at lunch. Like all that stuff you're talking about, that's all my lunch area.
Yeah, those are the good lines though. Like, so this is the first time I've had my Yeti out because I just bought it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I bought it used because I don't have new Yeti money.
Dude, believe me.
For those of you who don't understand, like, a new Yeti costs more than some people's cars. Like,
oh yeah, I mean, listen, I drug around my Jameis with an $800 Suburban for a long time. You know
what I mean?
Now sometimes they'll sit in the back of I don't know, whatever the old truck would be worth, but they ride in the back of that, and it's worth double what the old truck is for sure.
You know what's funny though? As I've gotten more into the mountain biking thing, I have noticed that I would say 80% of the people that ride, their bicycle costs more than the car they're driving. Like,
we have our priorities right for sure.
Yeah. Okay. So first time out on the Yeti, I got new tires, got it all ready to go ride Bentonville. I hit hammer down one time and hit one of those big rocks. Like I overshot that little jump.
Yep.
We'll talk about my dad in just a second and his experience on mountain biking. And I hit the rock and I just hear psh, and I was like, dang it. So I get back up and I was like, I've got patches, I've got everything I need. So I start tearing it all apart, fixing my tire, get it aired back up, and I start pedaling air. And I look, and the rim is just, destroyed the whole rim. Like the rim is bent. Like, so
cracked. It was nasty.
Like while I'm fixing my bike, my buddy that was behind me, he had gone back up the top to make another run. So I'm calling all the bike shops in Bentonville, trying to see if someone can true up my wheel, just get me back where I can finish riding, because we've literally ridden for 2 hours tops on our 2-hour drive, which is like, So calling around, I find somebody. So I'm like hollering at my buddy because I'm like, oh, he should be coming down. He'll probably hear me. Which in the woods, I don't know why you're yelling. You could be 20 yards away and not hear a damn word the person said. But, I'm just hyped up on adrenaline because I'm going to get my bike fixed so I can keep riding. So I'm like, where is he? He should be down here by now. Like, it's been quite a while. And I was like, well, maybe he's up there talking to somebody. So I start riding my... Yeah, he was. So I was riding my bike just because I sure as hell wasn't walking it.
No.
So, I mean, I did walk the big hill, but... And I get up there, and my buddy is laid off in the grass, and I can't even see his bike. And he's got some dude that, was riding by. He crashed and dislocated his shoulder.
Oh, my God.
That big jump.
That big first, so you hit that little rock, and then you hit that bridge, and it curves down to the right. Well, he overjumped that right curve and hit it, and just, boom, just shot him off into the woods.
Oh.
And so... he has this random dude on the trail on YouTube watching a video on how to pop his arm back in place.
Oh, man, that's always good stuff.
Okay?
Yeah.
So he's laid out on the trail. I'm coming up. I see him laid there, and this dude, has one foot kind of, on his neck, and the other one, in his armpit, pulling on his arm.
Wow.
And I'm like, oh, no, that's not good. Not good.
Yeah.
So I get up there. The dude somehow got it popped back in. The guy barely even spoke English. He was here from some foreign country, to ride the trails, on a rental bike. Just couldn't have been in a better situation, Yeah. Everything is going great. So we get all that done. And so at this point, I'm like, doesn't make any sense for me to get my bike fixed now. I'm not just going to come out here and ride by myself. Because I won't do anything. I won't hit any features. I won't do any of the stuff I want to do.
You don't want to be
because I'm by myself.
You're by yourself, 2 hours from home. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
we already had 2 men down. The odds of him getting injured were pretty high.
Yeah. Let's just round it out. Everything comes in threes.
My bike wheel took a dump, but
yeah.
So I call Earl. I said, "Hey, look," I said, "Brandon crashed. We're done."
Yeah. They're like, we just got to Crystal Bridges.
Yeah, he's like, we just left you guys 35 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool, huh?
Yeah. I'm glad you stayed around, bud.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was like, let me text this guy with the computer. We'll go look at the computer. We show up, and I carry a huge first aid kit with me in my bag. My bag, when I go riding, when it's filled with water, probably weighs close to 30 pounds.
Yeah.
Holy
he has
shit,
a lot of crap in this thing.
I have enough stuff that, I literally can, if you cut your arm open, I have enough stuff to clean it, numb it, and, a stitch kit to, stitch you back together,
style.
Okay?
Yeah.
Perfect. I'll get you where you're not bleeding enough, and it's good enough that we can get to the hospital without you dying,
Yeah. Perfect.
So... I'm giving him Advil and water, he's got his water pack or whatever. And then we get to this guy's house to look at his computer. I said, hey, not for this to be awkward, but do you have a big gallon Ziploc and a bunch of ice we can have? My buddy just popped his shoulder back in after it got dislocated when he crashed his bike. And he could really use some ice. Cause I had one of those ice packs that you break and it's the chemical reaction, but it only stays cold for 15 minutes. It's not a permanent solution. So
we had the food, all the ice packs from the coolers on him.
Yeah, all the cooler food packs are on him. And I've got they make it for humans like that vet tape stuff that's stretchy. Yep. Well, if you go to Atwood's, here's a helpful hint. Go to Atwood's, you can literally buy it for horses and it's 98 cents instead of $4 a roll. And you can get it in any color you want. Any color you want, they got it.
Better.
So I have like 4 or 5 rolls of that because like I've had surgery on both my ankles, so I like tape it up with that before I go ride and stuff, just as like precaution. Yep. So we've got his arm like up and like all wrapped up in this stuff where like he can't even move it because he's like pinched. And then we take that bag of ice and put it on there and then take more of that and like tape it on essentially to his arm. Yeah. And then he has to ride 2 hours home.
With the computer.
Yeah. Never met this guy.
Never met this guy ever. Just like, hey, appreciate it.
Yeah.
Hey, huge shout out to the computer guy, by the way.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
If you see this, we really appreciated that.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah. And this guy's just looking at us like,
these guys are nuts.
Like,
I can
first
imagine.
of all, we showed up with like 4 dudes to look at this computer,
to buy a computer
from this single guy at his house. So he's already like,
he's probably like,
okay,
dang it, I'm fixing to get beat up.
right
here.
So then my buddy has to ride home all 2 hours with his arm just like.
He's got no blood pressure anymore.
Oh, like, absolutely not.
Yeah.
Fingers are turning colors. Like,
yeah, it was. We actually had to tell him to quit moving.
I was like, yeah, like just quit moving. Like, you're fine. Yeah. Like, because he kept, ooh. I was like, no, we're taping it up. You're done.
Yeah.
Like, you're done.
It hurts, you're like, it's going to hurt even worse if you keep screwing with it.
Yeah. So that was the fun of that. Made it home. Then I think he ended up finding out like damage on his bike too, and like just
the bike got messed up.
Just,
for sure. I mean, if you dislocate your shoulder, usually you're not going to pick the bike up, and it's like, yep, let's go.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that was a long walk.
Yeah, but needless to say, thanks to that wonderful experience, I am ready to. We got to hook up, make it happen out in Bentonville. If we got to do a video to make it happen, I don't care, man. I will come out there and do it.
I'll bring my dad. He can flip over the bicycle again.
That's crazy. All right, so let's wind it down a little bit. With 12 nights of this, I'm realizing I'm going to put in 18 hours of podcasting time over the next 10 days. It's going to be awesome.
Dang, dude.
He's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
That sounds like my work days. My work days are about to be real long after today. Well, after the last 2 days.
Dang. Well, I'm glad you guys have done this. It's been a ton of fun. And so are you planning your race week again next year? Obviously, we're going to come back. We're going to
for sure.
Way faster in the So are you guys going to do hotels? You going to bring the trailer and stuff? Road week?
We're just going to see how things are. There's the refrigerator in the trailer still messed up. It still only works when it wants to, which is
damn.
Like day one, when the fridge just decided that it was out, like all our food for the whole week was in there.
Oh yeah.
So we're like having to buy bags of ice and like throw in there just to keep the fridge and freezer cold and like
refrigerator.
Yeah, like so we're gonna see how everything plays out. I'm getting ready to I'm gonna change the whole fridge deal. I'm just gonna go to like a normal refrigerator, like an apartment size fridge, so it only runs off like you plug it into the wall. It's only electric.
No more
propane. Well, it's electric and propane, but to buy a new one of those is like
expensive.
Excuse me, how much?
Yeah. You realize this thing is this big, right? Like it's like
I was like, I could buy an apartment fridge for $350 brand new at Lowe's, and it fits right in the same slot. Like, take that one out, put that one in, put a couple straps bolted in so it doesn't fall out when you're driving down the road.
Yep.
Fridge is going to work all the time.
Yeah, that's crazy. Wow. Well, cool. I'm excited.
So,
we're doing Sick Week in a couple weeks. Any other events you guys have coming up? Yeah, seven weeks till Sick Week. I'm too excited.
That's out in Florida. That's going to be a blast.
Yeah,
we don't have any major like racing events. So like we're planning on 2.0 again for sure. That's on the calendar already. Well,
I think
sort of
the big thing is going to be I'm going to try to take the bike to Ozark International. It's a brand new racetrack that just opened this year. It is super nice.
Yeah.
And I'd like to go to Circuit of the Americas down in Austin, and those are pretty pricey trips. Like Hallett's once a month,
Yeah.
So like I can usually do that in race season. I can do that every month. It's not that big of a deal as far as money because like
it's
45 minutes from my house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like to go to the Ozark International and to Circuit of the Americas, that's going to be like a pretty expensive little weekend.
Yeah.
So then it cuts out like, okay, we'll go to Hallett this month. Then for 2 months, we won't go to Hallett because we're going to go here. And like, because I mean, we both have day jobs and lives outside of YouTube and like other things in life we have to pay for other than just having fun all the time, unfortunately.
Big unfortunately.
And I'm telling you, listen, I'd love to do this all the time just because I think it would be a lot of fun. But I think what would be interesting is like how many people you'd be like, hey, can you jump on at 2:00 this afternoon? No, I have to work. Ah, damn. So
see, that's like I'm self-employed. I'd be like, oh yeah, let's hop on, right? But then the thing is it's
you're
like
gonna get a phone call, you're gonna be pulled away.
Well, not so much because I got a guy that's there that helps me. So
nice.
But I could more or less like if we're do this for an hour, that just means I have to stay an hour after 5 to get to the same spot I would have been, right? Which I don't mind doing, but at the same time, it's like, especially right now, it's a little bit different in the summer when you get off work and it's like nice weather and the sun's out. I'm not so much willing to like stay late in the summer as like in the winter whenever it gets dark before I even make it home.
Right.
Yeah, I'm like, it's gonna be dark when I get home either way. So I guess I can stay an extra hour or 2 hours after work and just get a little bit more done.
Yep, that's exactly right. Yeah, so we've got. I was trying to put the list together of stuff, and I realized from May to August I don't have anything. I'm like, no, there's got to be some stuff in there, and so
I'm 1.0.
It's June, but there's no way I can do 1.0. It's like 10 days worth of travel, and so I just can't. That's too much. So plus like with doing sick week, I was going to do 1.0 this year, like 2022, but with sick week coming up, I'm like, I'm doing that in February. That'll be way more fun.
Everybody's pretty hyped up about that.
Yeah.
Like I've heard a lot of people getting super excited about that. And this is a first year event. So
yeah. I think, it sold out in 3 minutes.
Yeah. It's attracting a lot of big names too. So
there's 3 confirmed. There's 3 confirmed 5-second cars.
Yeah.
So I mean that's pretty gnarly,
Yeah, like
pretty cool.
Good luck.
Yeah. So I'm co-piloting, which will be cool. So I'm just gonna have a camera rolling all the time. So we'll see. It's gonna be a ton of fun.
It?
Yeah. Oh, dude, I'm so ready. I thought about it after we got home, and like once the cart started messing up, I wouldn't have let Dustin drive it anyways, because I would have hated that to be on his conscience of it just taking a shit and him be driving it, Yeah. I wanted it, and I mean, it took a shit on me, but it was mine, and that's okay. You know what I mean? So I'd have felt bad for him. He'd be like, "Man, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to break it." Like, well, you break it, you fix it, So that's not really how that works. But all right, well, y'all stay with me. I want to thank everybody that's been watching the whole time. Hour and a half on here, hour and 40 minutes. Been pretty awesome. Why don't you tell them again where to find you on Instagram, and obviously that Jason and Earl on YouTube.
Yeah, so Jason and Earl on YouTube. You can find me Facebook and Instagram searching Earl Cooper or 06_Batmobile_SS.
And I'm Forrest_Forerunner on Instagram.
Nice.
And that's where I'm posting a lot of my Forerunner stuff that I've been doing.
Yeah, if you want to see that fancy new rack he put on there.
It's on there. I did post a picture of it today, actually.
Yes. That was yesterday.
Nice. All right. Well, cool. Well, I'm going to end it, guys. We're back tomorrow night with Matt Monroe, Big Blocks Garage. We talked about the throttle app earlier. He's got some insight into that, and then what they've got coming for Mopar podcasting type stuff. It's going to be next level. Makes me all kinds of jealous. So he'll be on tomorrow night. I think yeah, right. I guess I don't know. I don't fall into that. They're too expensive for me. Too expensive. So it's always good to let those guys kind of teach you a little bit of stuff. So all right, I'm hitting the button. Thanks everybody. Bye.